Yo, what is good, everybody? What is good, yo? Oh man, I'm like a kid in a candy shop. So many different things here, so little time. And I think I'm gonna try to get as much content out today as possible just because it's such a content overdose that there's still other stuff I want to talk about, believe it or not. So, um, take this with a grain of salt when I say there's so much that I'm already doing. Um, but yeah, with this episode of That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, it is truly showing its Overlord roots, in my opinion. And I feel like we literally had the same exact thing happening in Overlord, um, to such a degree that it almost felt like one of the two were copying each other because it was such well thought out ways of the growth of these different like species. People always, and when I say people, I'm like creators who know of certain types of animals, certain types of monsters, they usually give them the same overarching story, uh, hence Goblin Slayer, where goblins are literally like all the goblins that you would imagine, just little dirty, conniving creatures that do disgusting things to people who can't even defend themselves. And then you go and look at something like this episode where the goblins seemingly were just people who couldn't defend themselves, and dire wolves were the ones taking advantage of that situation and about to wipe them out from existence. So it's a really fun way to see authors understanding that not all monsters are monsters in their and others' perspectives. Like sure, if I bet you if those humans that went invisible came out and saw the goblins, they'd be like, "Oh my God, monsters!" Like that's it. Um, but with this show seemingly breaking that trend, um, it's fun to say that we might be seeing the birth of some of the most coolest goblins ever, seeing how they just were awarded some names and they got huge buff, like super strong, super confident, all these different things just from getting a name from their master. So you can only imagine where the series may be going with something like that. And the other thing that really is freaking me out that maybe other people aren't talking about, or maybe other people are, I'm not really sure. Um, but with this name evolution, what happened to the dragon then? Because he is just like them in this world, and I guess maybe nothing happened as much as the dire wolf um, and as the goblins, simply because he already had a name, which is the main reason why he was already very strong as well, I'm guessing. So, I guess now that I'm thinking about it out loud, it wouldn't make too much sense for a name to make him even stronger, unless the slime was much more powerful than the name. Like the way the slime gives the name, it could come out more effective than someone giving themselves a name and then going around and then people agreeing that that's their name or something. You know what I mean? Like making your name known around the world by destroying people. Uh, but that was my first like idea. I was like, oh man, that means the dragon inside of him could be. Oh wait, the dragon's inside of him. Like the dragon is inside of him, and then we see that the slime gets the bright idea of pretty much just eating the goblins to a degree of sucking the venom and all the different things that could be hurting them out of their bodies. And I'm just like, that sucks for the giant dragon who you had to actually just eat because he was not um he was not in the same type of situation as the goblins, okay? He was put under some huge spell that if the spell wasn't broken, he pretty much was stuck where he was, and the goblins were just, they were just getting attacked by some wolves that they couldn't defeat. Uh, it makes a little sense. But amazing, amazing episode in my opinion. I have been growing to love this show very quickly. And when I saw that this show was like turning into an Overlord eccentric episode where we're just literally putting in effort and time into this slime pretty much building up relationships with people who would probably be relatively not that important or not that cool to watch comparing, the slime to the freaking goblins. And he's trying to teach them how to build houses, and it also, if you haven't watched this show, I highly recommend it because it also feels like it's a little bit of a reference from there, because it's just a smart way to continue to use actual knowledge that people supposedly have of certain monsters and certain deities and certain, creatures. They're just using it all, and it all falls under the same category as, oh, if this is what they did in this show and this world and this, maybe I could just make them do the same thing, but in my own special way. And I can't wait to see what they do with the dwarves. But the anime you guys need to check out that did this same kind of thing with these species, and a certain species being better at one thing than another, was drifters. They had elves, they had dwarfs, and that was about as far as they got in season one. But with the dwarves, they could craft weapons, and with the elves, they were already very good at archery, so their archery was second to none when it came to like long range. Well, it was second to one person, so I guess that saying doesn't really work in that situation. But you get what I'm saying. The elves would destroy the dwarves in archery, and at the same times the elves didn't even know how to craft with metals and stuff like that. So that's what it feels like we're getting in this already, and I truly appreciate that. It just goes to show you that they do their homework on all of these different types of races that they be trying to pull in their shows. They want to make sure that they at least meet the criterias that they would meet in other shows, which I never understood. That if you are making a show, you should be able to make it any way, shape, or form. Like they should, if you want the dwarves to be good at archery, you can make the dwarves good at archery. You know what I mean? Um, but if they're going to respect what other people have uh, deemed as what dwarfs would do, them being short and everything, then let's get it. Like that's pretty. That's an iconic look. That's metal is their iconic job. So sounds like we're getting traditional dwarfs, and we'll see where this leads. Cause right now the dire wolves are my like. The one dire wolf is already my favorite, to be honest. Like that guy's dope, bro. Um, and to think that they all, like they seem really, really dope in the sense of family oriented and just live one and one die, whoever dies, someone's gonna level up and have to make the calls. And the call that was made after the father dire wolf was taken out in this week's episode in this short raid, um the son already knew that. He's like, you probably should have fell back, just by the way he was calling out to his father, and just by the way he did not rush in with his father, kind of gave me the instant thought in my head that um, they clearly would go about things differently. And just by seeing him agreeing to the slime's commands and heeding the warning that was actually given, we learn very quickly that these are two different sides of a coin. And I can't wait to see where the dire wolves storyline is going to go. It was the cutest dang thing to see him over the top of the slime, just sleeping on, using the slime as like a headrest. Man, I love this show. I don't know how they're doing it. It's a freaking circular slime, and I'm more entertained with this show than a lot of the other random shows that have came out that I could be watching right now over this show. So Hey, I can't wait to see what you guys are saying about this week's episode. Plus, I can't wait to see what else is coming in the future because shows like this give me so much hope that there's an anime out there that hasn't came out that I could still call better than everything I've already seen. But until that happens, we will have to wait and see. This is a good year of anime, but I have high hopes that next year will be even better now that we kind of got established what people like, how people like it, aka we like to get our content really quickly after we get the first season. So hopefully that starts to become more of a trend than not. So that's another thing anime needs to continue to do, continue to grow the way that they are, and believe in the community because I believe in all of y'all. So why wouldn't they believe in the anime watching people? So all right, everybody. I will talk to you in the next one. Sorry, I kind of rambled on in this one. I just got really excited about how dope this episode was, and how self-contained it was. And then even after being self-contained, they still set up the next plot point, which is going to see if the dwarves can help build houses, seeing how they live in a dang kingdom. But all right, everybody. I will talk to you in the next one. Take care, and I hope you have a good day, morning, night, depending on whenever you watch this. And I will talk to you soon. All right. Peace.